All right, guys, so it's me and Brandon talking about it, and you click the link, so you know this is Marvel Movie News. Let's get it on.
It's that time again. First up, Ed Brubaker has come out and said that he got to read the script for Captain America, Winter Soldier. For those of you that aren't aware, he kind of wrote Winter Soldier, the comic book. He brought
Ed Brubaker is probably the only person that should ever bring someone back from the dead if they're not mystical in powers.
Yes.
If they're just humans, this is the dude you want to do it. This is the story he did it in, and they're basing the entire movie fairly on it.
This is actually where I jumped on Captain America. That's when I started reading.
I think a lot of people, this was a number one, like it restarted the whole numbering of like, it was a whole new volume. And it was perfect.
Well, he got to read the script, and he said it is great. He loves it. He thinks it's perfect. And he kind of also went on to say that for him as well, it's awesome because Marvel plans on releasing a big hardcover collection, I guess an omnibus, of his Winter Soldier run, which is incredible, and you should pick it up.
It's so good.
It's so great.
So good.
But, I mean, he kind of comes out and he's like, oh, it's kind of cool because, you know, I get to see royalties for that. But
which is funny. But
either way, I like that he's approved of this script because that's a big
I will say it's cool that he approved it. I will also remind you that Mark Miller approved the Wanted script and a lot of other scripts that made it into things. But, and this is a big butt.
It's a big, it's like
big old booty, like a rapper's girlfriend booty. Mark Miller and Ed Brubaker are two very different people, and I think Ed Brubaker's approval is a lot more like, yeah.
I see Ed Brubaker falling in line with Alan Moore more than I do Mark Miller when it comes to comic book movie stuff.
Yes. So either way, take it for what you will. I'm just throwing that out there because he did say that Wanted script was awesome.
But
just
what we're saying is Brubaker approves of Winter Soldier, and that's awesome.
Yes.
Secondly,
Moving on.
Chris Hemsworth was out.
Hemsworth.
God,
You said Hemsworth.
I'm killing it.
You want some ketchup right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Some fries.
We'll get some ketchup right now. No, you just want ketchup apparently.
He's talking about DC versus Marvel. He was out doing stuff for Rush, his new movie.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. And basically asked, you know, how do you feel about the rivalry between DC and Marvel movies? And he's basically like, what rivalry? We're kicking ass. And
like, we're winning, right?
Yeah, we're winning. And basically was just cocky about it, but I think that's totally fine because he has every right to be.
He was cocky about it in the beginning, and then he kind of just said, you know, it's awesome that they're doing things and we're doing things. Yeah, we're like doing more, but the fact that they're out there making movies and there's other superhero movies to compete with it makes people want to see other movies. The Avengers, you want to see that? Of course you want to see what DC is going to put out. Absolutely. So it's pretty much a win-win for everyone, and especially Marvel because they had a huge head start. Huge.
They kind of got their stuff together early
like 6 years ago, so it's whatever.
So,
either way,
yeah,
this is awesome.
Also, if you picked up Iron Man 3 on Blu-ray this week, you got to see a little Agent Carter short starring Agent Carter from Captain America.
Yep.
And it takes place a year after Cap has disappeared. She's an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh my God.
And she's doing secret spy stuff. And they're saying that this could possibly turn into a television show.
What?
Which would be cool. I'm kind of hoping that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which premiered this week, kind of kickstarts this into more because I like the idea.
It's good.
Yeah. I mean, we're comic book readers. We love this kind of stuff. We love expansions of everything. So
I like tie-ins. Like,
oh
my God, this story takes place kind of coherent with this. Oh my God,
like
can't wait to read it.
The fact that there's a television show to go along with an Avengers movie, which is something I never dreamed possible to begin with.
Literally never dreamed of. But either way,
I think this is a good idea. I kind of hope it takes off. There's no talk on if all the actors appearing in the short, or actors and actresses appearing in the short, will be cast if there is a TV show, but they're just going to kind of see what's going on right now. And I'm perfectly okay with that because Marvel is, just like Thor said, Marvel's kicking ass right now.
Yep. And also, speaking of Thor again.
Boom.
Joss Whedon actually was called onto the Thor Dark World set to kind of help with some scenes that were giving him a little trouble. And he totally knocked it out of the park, helped him out with a couple other scenes that they were like, oh my, hey, can you help us out with these? And he totally did it. And apparently it made it a lot more fresh, a lot more free-flowing. I don't know.
It's Game of Thrones.
Alan Taylor.
Yeah.
Alan Taylor is the director on Thor the Dark World and called him up. Hey, Just, can you help me out with this?
And that's just badass. That it's like you're filming all these movies for Marvel.
Yeah, I think it's more badass that it's the dude that's pretty much in charge of all the stories. Like he's the one that's like, okay, we need to have it flow this certain way. And he had such a great like flow in Avengers. Like all his characters, all his drama, all his talk, all that stuff was cool. It's nice to see that we kind of have at least someone like involved with something else within this giant universe.
But I like how you give him a team movie. He didn't do any of those on his own. He took all the other movies that existed, made it into a team, and now they're like, hey, we're having trouble on the Thor movie, and he's like, I know this character, check this out, boom, 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 done. Like, that is badass. There's nothing else to say.
I mean,
about that.
when you have a guy that's written award-winning comic books, taking over like these awesome comic book movies, like that's the person who I want doing
Absolutely.
it. I kind of hate that superhero movies are turning into this giant huge fad, and it's like a crazy, oh my god, everyone loves it. But I mean, there's always going to be little kids, and they're always going to love it, and there's always going to be little kids in our hearts, and then we're always going to love anything about it. So I'm just glad that the people that love it as much as we do are in charge of putting it out.
Right.
That's just win.
You're killing it today.
Okay, I know, man. I'm just up here. I'm up here right
I'm
now.
pronouncing everything wrong, and you're just closing the deal.
Sucking all your talent out of you.
Well, there's not much in there, so still
I shouldn't have said that.
probably pretty thirsty. And yeah, it was kind of a weird innuendo. So let us know what you guys think about his innuendo in the comments below.